Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Mic Drop EP.2 with me and Voltaire and our special guest, Rhea. Thank you for being our first guest on the Mic Drop.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, y'all.
Really appreciate it. And I'm excited too because I'm getting ready for Too Many Games. I only have a few things I'm doing this year, but Too Many Games is really cool. Get to visit Joe, get to visit Rhea, maybe Retro Bro. I have to call him again just to see if he's going. And I'm looking forward to seeing Pat the NES Punk again. And then I do have to research the Angry Video Game Nerd because I never even watched his documentary. And I really, if we're able to, I really want to see that documentary screening with him. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that works. I have to research that. How you been doing, Voltaire?
Hi and hello, everybody. I've been doing great. Thank you for joining us, Red. Very excited to have you as our first guest.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I told Voltaire not just to let the audience know, do not let me know what you think of the Acolyte until we get live. Isaac is in the chat.
Hello, Isaac.
Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. And Cal is here. And thank you, Cal. Cal was one of our first. Well, I maybe I should be quiet until we play it. One of our we do have a hotline number which you can call now. Let me put the hotline number up there. Oh, hold on a second.
There it is.
There it is. So you can call right now and leave another one if you'd like, and we will get to it at the end of the show. So we'll probably do the beginning and the end of the show if that sounds good, Voltaire. If there's any new ones that come in.
I love the idea of the hotline. Everybody leave your hot takes, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm. And just some announcements for the Mic Drop. I decided to have this. I do most of my content YouTube only. I decided to have this as an X exclusive from our channel, from my channel, Movie Madness and Entertainment. So X people, or if you're watching, we don't get too many comments from you. You could call and leave us a voicemail with a question or topic and get it in there. I will try to pre-screen it if that's possible while I'm doing it live. But yeah, get those in there for X users. We want to hear from you too. We want to hear from as many people as possible what you think is a hot topic in entertainment. Try to keep it in entertainment. We will do politics every once in a while. I think when we have a guest, lay off the politics. Is that cool, Voltaire?
Lay off the politics, but life advice. You know, you want some advice on your mortgage.
Oh yeah, I can definitely dish some, learning lessons or learn some lessons.
Getting contractors in to do work, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely speak to that too.
Oh, Dr. Strange, I want to have you on this show too, talking about like some really strange Marvel theories or strange Star Wars theories too, because I know you watch Star Wars. So I definitely want to reach out to you as well. So let's get started and check out our first voicemails, first mic drops. Let me see how to do this without showing anyone's number. I think I will do this first. Work in progress, everyone. So I will do a better overlay for next time. But I'm adding that. Okay. There we go. I'll put Voltaire there. Okay. So we are going to be listening to some voicemails to see what we get here. I did pre-screen these. Let's listen to the first one. Make sure, let me know if you can hear, okay?
Hey, it's Daddy Vince. So, talking about the Swan's Books thing, did you know that is a reference to Douglas Curtis Swan, who was a Bronze Era comic book artist for Superman. So it's a nice little Easter egg that James Gunn is including. See you guys next time.
All right. Thank you, Vince. Did you hear that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that was that dude, Vince. He wants to talk about in his mic drop the images coming out from Superman. I still call it Superman Legacy because it's easy to differentiate from the other Superman, but it's just Superman now. So there's Swan's bookstore, and he says it's an Easter egg in a reference for Douglas Curtis Swan, a Bronze Era comic book artist for Superman. So that is pretty cool. Thank you for the info, Vince. I really appreciate it. We also in the future, if it's a hot topic on the voicemail, we might give you a rating. I would say that was a cool Easter egg. Not exactly a mic drop, Vince, but I really appreciate the info for sure. And I'm really looking forward to Super. And I love seeing all this stuff coming out. It's very cool the era we're in. I love Zach and I love all that other stuff. But I'm really looking forward to something fresh too, though. At this point, it's just so much, and I still enjoy talking about DC. But it's just at this point, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ray, what do you think about Super? Are you ready for some new things from DC? At this point, it's just like really. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited to be excited for new stuff. I don't want to like jump the gun, but yeah, I think I missed that those new images. Like I've been offline a little bit this past week, so yeah, I'll have to catch up on that. But
Well,
it sounds like it's really cool.
We might on this very show, because we do include good news of Twitter or good news of X, where we show some stuff that's trending, some goodness. Okay, so let's get to the next one here.
Well, it's good that James Gunn is honoring stuff like Bronze Age artists and stuff like that. And again, book it, mark it, clip it. James Gunn is going to save the DC movie universe.
I hope so. Yeah, it needs it. It needs some freshness, really. I like that a lot of young, talented people are getting jobs. I like that James Gunn consistently goes with new talent, like not new talent, but unproven talent. For example, when he hired the guy from Parks and Rec for Guardians, what's his name again? I blank on names all the time. What's his name, Voltaire?
Dan Harmon?
No. Star-Lord.
Oh, Star-Lord. Oh, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Why couldn't I think of Chris Pratt?
Mm-hmm.
When he hired Chris Pratt, he wasn't proven in the movies yet.
Not at all.
You know, and he was a little bit of a chubbier guy before he got hired for Star-Lord, and he got in shape in it. You know, that was another thing. People are like, what? The chubby guy from Parks and remember when that was the thing? So
Yeah.
I appreciate that he gets people that are unproven and shines a light. I think Zach and James Gunn are both good at that for sure. But I really like that he does that. So there's a lot of new talent in there. All right, let's hear this next one. I wonder who this is from.
What up, fool? Cal, this is a test. I'm trying to help you out, you motherfucker. I'm trying to help you. Anyway, this is a test. I'm about to tell you that I'll send you a message. All right.
Paul, don't be embarrassed. Drunk dials are welcomed. Okay, everybody?
That was an intentional one. That was four paps in from what I've heard.
At least.
I love that message though. That was great. that was a mic drop. I think we have our first mic drop. That was amazing, Cal. I feel like Cal's going to be one of the consistent caller voicemail leavers. So that was perfect, Cal. Thank you so much. And thank you, Vince, as well. And then I have this next. This is the last one I got last night. Please help me understand what this is.
Nerd. Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget.
Thank you. I think Senior Nerd.
Okay. Big fan of Inspector Gadget, obviously.
So if you would like to leave another one, Strange Marvel Theories, anyone else in there, Joe's Dolan, figure drawing, call this number on the bottom. I will revisit the voicemail line later on in the show and see if we have any more messages. Okay. So I will put that there. That was fun. I mean, I think now that people know it works, we might get more, hopefully.
Yeah.
Taladia is, yes, I'm going to bring that up now. Let me bring that up here. Taladia actually made us a video.
International, everybody.
Yes. Our MME International. And then we'll start talking about the Acolyte. Let me see. I have to find it. The only bad thing about Good News of Twitter is I retweet so many things that I lose track of it here.
Same.
Okay, here it is.
What's wild is that I was thinking about the premiere of The Boys leading up to this show, but I'm sure we're going to talk about that show when everyone's caught up. But yeah, I did catch up on that premiere. Very, very cool. Speaking of good news.
Yeah, that is good news. I think Ray is one of my favorite quotes of mine is an embarrassment of riches. Like, I don't have any reason to complain about stuff anymore. Well, I do still complain, but to dwell on it, at least to dwell on it, because there's just so much out there. There's retro, there's things you missed. I can't even keep up with everything I want to watch being a consistent content creator. If I didn't do YouTube, which I love YouTube, I can't not do YouTube, but I can't catch up. I do want to see The Boys for sure.
And look at all this great streaming content that's being given to us that's accessible to everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Rings of Power, House of the Dragon is coming out. Those are ones that I'm super compelled to follow along because sometimes like the motivation isn't there.
Honestly, can I be real with how busy June is? For a lot of people, with starting vacations and getting ready for the summer and then having all these streaming shows drop, it's really hard to get to the theater right now. And I still have an AMC A list. I don't know.
Don't worry, we're gonna go see Maxine.
Yes. I still have to see the first two. I'm debating on whether I should watch them with my wife before before the trip, or if we should rent them when you're here. I don't know, and watch the first two one of the nights before it. Because I'll have to ask my wife what she wants to do, because I haven't seen any of them. She hasn't either. All right, so here's Taladia leaving a mic drop. Let's see what he does here.
Hey, this is your boy Taladia Plays, and I'm doing this quick 2-minute mic drop for Max and for Voltaire. And my topic is about the DCU and how
who would have guessed
the stage is going to be set like more fanatic, more fantasy than realism. And I think this is going to be a hot take. I think it's going to be looking more better than what we've had previously in circumstances that, let's say, the 1970s or the 1980s. That is my hot take, right, from what Christopher Reeve has done before and Brandon Routh after. So it's like, my hot take is that I believe that, or the mic drop is that I believe that James Gunn's Superman movie is going to have something similar level to the of Superman the animated series for the DCAU, and it's going to be very animated, feel like the atmosphere is going to be like that. So that's what I've got to say for that. What do you guys think about it? So that's my take. And like I said, I will be sure to do another one of these soon.
Oh, thank you
for listening.
Thank you, Taladia. So he's saying that he believes this go around of the DC is going to be more fantasy, fantastical. And I do think James Gunn would go that way. I do feel like that. And that's going to be differentiated from the other ones, especially if he has the Crypto, the super dog. We haven't seen that in a Superman live action movie, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Probably in the TV series. A lot of things from a lot of the more interesting characters that are not reality based, more like the grounded, like Christopher Nolan type stuff. I think he's gonna go out there. I do feel like he might go that way. The other thing that was interesting is the images from the set. It seems like he has a lot of, in Rhea, you haven't seen it yet, but there's a lot of sets and stores like home electronics, and they seem like from a different era. So I don't know if that's going to be the whole movie, but I don't know what time period this Superman takes place in. I honestly don't know. It might not be current day for Superman Legacy. At least from the sets, they might do a flashback or something. I don't understand. I don't know. But there's like, how long have you seen? How long ago was it popular to have one of the stores be home video electronics? I'm like, okay. I mean, I try to search those stores out, but that's not very popular right now, you know?
There's clips of that out there. There's a screen or whatever, set shots of like an old electronics store.
Yes. Well, yeah, and I think we'll cover that too.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Taladia. That was a nice topic. I really appreciate that. We will be getting a variety of topics, questions, and hot takes, I'm assuming. But I enjoyed every one of them, including Senior Nerd. I know you. I guess you like Inspector Gadget. Cool, Senior Nerd.
And Taladia, I know you held back from plugging your channel, so I'm going to do it for you. Go watch Taladia Plays. Great content, everybody.
Yes. All right. So now let's do spoilers for the Acolyte. I will go first, and then we'll probably get Voltaire and then Rhea, because Voltaire I'm most interested. No offense, Rhea. I really don't know which way Voltaire's going to go. He has some really hot takes on Star Wars. I loved it. It's some of my favorite Star Wars of all time. There were some, cringy things in the episode, like the chants and stuff, but I loved where the story was going. And I really enjoy that. I feel that this expands the universe more than a lot of other Disney Star Wars, because, and it just blows my mind that people say that's not how the Force works. It's this thing that you can't actually put your hands around the Force. It's faith-based too. I think you use the Force, you tap into it. And how does anyone know exactly how the Force works? And I think that's because the mass market public Star Wars that you've been basically getting it from the point of view from the Jedi priests that are just one religion in this universe. That's just one religion in this universe that has their ideas about how the Force works and their roles about what you should do with it. And they've experimented this too in like the animated stuff, the Clone Wars and things like that. But I think this really expands it to I think this is a more mass viewership show than the animated stuff or the comics or the books. And that really intrigues me that they're gonna have different religions, different cults even, and expanding, because if you look at the planet Earth, there's so many religions and views on how God and the afterlife and all this other things work. So that's my first take. I like all the characters. I thought episode 3 was actually one of the strongest, and the actress that plays Mother, I was actually most the two cringiest actors that were on Star Wars Celebration with the responses last year, that had some funny moments where they didn't know what they were talking about, like Star Wars, or the best actors in the show, and that's Yord and the actress that plays Mother. She was she delivered the lines. I think she was one of the best parts of this episode. The Yord Horde, I'm a big fan of his, and I love it. Now I want him to say cringy things on the press tour, like Anakin blew up the Death Star. But that just proves to me that you don't have to know about the property to be a good actor in the property. But I loved it. Okay, Voltaire, pull off the Band-Aid. Go ahead. What did you think?
All right. First of all, the meme I sent you, is it too hot to put on your channel?
Let me see here. Oh, let me bring that up here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh no. Well, we'll.
It's not us. It's what
Okay.
the South Park episode was about. So that's all it is.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, everybody. So
this up.
This is not me.
This is South Park.
This is South Park. This was exactly what they did on that South Park episode. Find a beloved IP, put a chick in it, blah, 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 make her gay and lame. Product flop, blame the fans. Okay, that's it. I just want to get that out of the way off the top.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So that thing hit, and they all know
For
about
you.
it. Well,
Okay.
no. It hit.
All right.
Everybody knows about it, right?
Yeah, it did.
Leslie Headland knows about it. Kathleen Kennedy, it made its way to her. Now, this show, again, this is not a critique one way or another. This show does what that meme says. Let's
You
face
think
it.
so?
Well, I mean, there's main characters who are there's a cult of witches, coven of witches, who create children without a man, whatever. Okay, so that happened in the episode. Okay,
yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong.
I want to push back right away, Voltaire. If you could create an entity without the regular way of doing it, and from nothing, why would you even? Why would your mind even go to the norms of you need a man and a woman? Like
I'm not going there. I'm just
saying that was my point. That was my
yeah. Again, that's not
like
a
if you could create life from nothing, you don't even need the male female thing.
Again, I know this sounds like I'm saying something bad. It really isn't.
No.
I'm just pointing out that meme is exactly what this show is. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying that. Now, there's a precedent for them creating children with the Force, right? Anakin was created without a father, and we all saw that, and it was just kind of slipped in that episode, or in that movie. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, oh, so he's like a Jesus kid or something like that. So why can't these witches do it too? I agree with you. People have a problem with it. Anakin's not special. Why are they doing this? There's no good reason why this coven of witches who are a different sect, who still follow the Force, manipulate the Force in another way. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't get why everybody's having a problem with that. I really don't have a problem with that. That being said, it was a cult of women who created children without men, right? So that is true. That did happen. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't bother me. I told you guys the first 2 episodes, I gave them a 7.5 out of 10. Lots of Jedi action. Some of the acting was cringe and not great. I don't know if it was the acting or the dialogue, but I like the Jedi fighting. I like the Jedi stuff, blah, blah, blah. So this episode, the way I don't know what the outrage is. I almost feel like people are wanting to hate this.
Well, I will explain the outrage is because this in some people's viewpoint makes Anakin less special too. And they're also giving new roles. Listen, they didn't, as much as people like the revise history, they were not happy with George even when he gave new roles to the Force with the midichlorians, and they made fun of that scene in The Phantom Menace too when she said there was no father. They made fun of that. So it's really bold to go in this direction again, to try to really give more insight as to how things work and stuff. It's very, very daring storytelling for me.
Right.
So
my point of bringing,
people are going to have a problem regardless when you go into this stuff.
Yeah. My point of bringing up that meme was they did do what that meme said, but guess what? I think they did it okay. I don't have a problem with how they did it. I think it was pretty cool. It's a coven of witches. A coven of witches creating children without men. That kind of makes sense to me that they would try to do something like that. You know what I mean? And I don't have a problem with it. And guys, everybody, there is a precedent.
I mean, honestly, if there's ever a situation you don't need men, that's it. There, you need someone to carry the once it's, at least they haven't figured out to just so far from what we've seen from Anakin and these twins here is you still need someone to carry them. Even when they're created out of nothing. So,
and guess what, everybody?
Maybe in the future they'll get to the point where they just appear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just appearing.
Anakin was created without a man too. Even if you want to say, Sidious, it's in the comics, it's canon. Use the Force to create him. He did not, get in there and produce a baby. You know what I mean? So they kind of did the same thing again. Is there a problem with that? I don't personally have a problem with that. You know, this whole thing that Anakin's no longer special and all that kind of thing. All right. Okay. You know, the whole thing that Plagueis came up with a fancy way that was brand new and he invented it. Maybe he learned it from these witches. We don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, I like the expansion of other, because you know it's kind of an allegory for religion in the world. There's always God.
Yeah, no, I think that's why this is. And honestly, I really appreciate you being here, Rhea. But I was like, this is kind of difficult to talk about with the general public because it really challenges people's belief. Like, if you look at in real world application about people what they believe since they've grown up, and I'm not anti-religion or anything like that. It really challenges you to look outside what you think and look at other people's point of view in the galaxy or the world. And that's hard. I was religious when I was young. I'm not so much now. And as I've grown up as I've gotten older, I've talked to a lot of people online, a lot of people in my job. People have very, very different points of view on how things work, very different faiths. And that's where I think it's just the most challenging part for the viewer, because some people never really, I don't want to, and that's fine. If you want to believe what you believe when you grow up and for the rest of your life, I understand. Okay. But some people don't ever walk outside what they were brought up as and what their family taught them. You know, some people never stray from that. So,
right. And sorry, I when I first saw that bad guy, the Sith with the gimp mask from Pulp Fiction.
Oh my God!
You know, weeks ago I said that was a lady. I think it was pretty much confirmed in this episode that it's the one who carried them, the mother who carried them.
You think?
Yeah, I think she survived and she became the gimp mask Sith Lord.
Okay.
But whatever. Again, so I don't have a problem with it. Is this going to carry along with fans that they're going to love this? This is a female-focused show. It is. I mean, I'm sorry. Most of the characters are female, other than Saul. The story is following this. There's nothing wrong with that. Is it going to hit with fans in the popular media is the question. You know, so far I don't have a problem. I love the pacing of the show. It's quick. It's kind of dirty. It moves quick, and I've so far the first 3 episodes, I've enjoyed that. So I didn't have a problem with this whole expansion of the lore, and I think
Voltaire's nervous. He's like, I didn't have a problem so many times. It's okay, Voltaire. You can say.
No, because everybody expects me.
No,
this is a
difficult thing to criticize. You know, it is because you don't want to get anyone offended or anything.
And I have no problem critiquing Kathleen Kennedy. I don't have a problem critiquing.
Well, we know
Star Wars. Yeah, this though, I don't have the critique that I've had with other projects they've done so far. So far, I was cautiously optimistic going into this, and you know, I'm okay with it now. I just don't know that it's going to hit with fans.
Well, okay, that's fair enough. Would you give it a rating and then say your high point and your low point of this episode? I'll start and then we'll get Ray. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Ray. I would say 9 out of 10 for me. Or maybe I gave it an 8 out of 10 on the stream, but I rewatched it again. The only down point for me was the chants were kind of cringy. It really seemed like it wasn't really. I don't think it had the impact that scene that they were going for, that like be really creepy vibe and interesting. That it just was a silly chant. All the actors were great. I like the kid actors for Osha and May. I thought they did a really good job. I liked Mother. I liked some of the actresses in the Coven were kind of really hit and miss. Like they showed that older one that looked like Yoda. That was kind of a miss for me. I just like, okay, showing what they could do. So the high point for me was definitely Mother herself. Was a very interesting character. I'm wondering how much more we're going to have of her. And the low point was just the rest of the Coven and the chants and stuff wasn't executed well for me. But I give it like a 8 or 9 out of 10. Voltaire, what would you say?
Again, I stick with my 7, about a 7.5 rating, because there was some slow points with the some of the kid stuff was drawn out too much. Some of the I get the chanting. They had to do some kind of a ritual. I thought that could have been done better. I agree with you. But overall, I'm okay with the lore. So yeah, 7.5, 7, something like that.
Okay, cool. Ray, I apologize. What's your thoughts on that? If you could give people backstory of what you liked about episode 1 and 2, and then what you think of this third one, because this is the one people are talking about. I actually think this is probably going to get the best viewership as much as people are complaining. I think people are going to watch this episode a lot. So go ahead, Ray. What's your thoughts on the show? Where it's up till now, and then episode 3?
Yeah, so episodes 1 and 2, I felt were interesting introductions to the primary cast, but I did feel like they were lacking in terms of pacing. And what I mean by that is there was I felt like it was going at breakneck speed to
Okay.
introduce characters and quickly, establish their arcs and, relationships with one another. But another part of me thinks that, like, okay, yeah, we don't need, an episode per friend or per, character. So I get that. So I'm kind of on, like, maybe like 60-40 as far as like what I would have liked to see, as far as like character relationship building, but I think I got what was necessary, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much as far as like episode 1. And then leading into episode 2, kind of like a similar feeling with the previous episode. I felt that the relationship between Osha and May, it got a little bit more fleshed out, and I got a little bit more of a comprehensive idea of how, their dynamic came to be as far as like their dichotomy, and some of their, I guess like the intensity of like the connection between them. Then we get some more context around that in episode 3, which I really appreciated. And I'm a big fan of I guess I don't know if this is the right term for it, non-sequential storytelling. So the context or like the information that I felt was lacking in the first 2 episodes, going a little bit fast as far as like establishing character relationships, and then leaving a lot of mystery and a lot of like, especially with the shadowy figure, I guess, that that May answers to, or that I'm assuming she does. And then the purpose of her, going after the 4 Jedi that were present during, the fire or whatever. So things like that got a little bit more fleshed out for sure in episode 3, which I think kind of not 100% resolved, but it was fulfilling enough to give me an idea of like, okay, yeah, now I'm all in, because a lot of like my concerns, or the feeling of lack of information or lack of connection with these characters, more or less, like I would say maybe like 80%, like what was resolved by episode 3. I was like, okay, yeah, like I know enough to, go full speed ahead into the series. So that's where I'm at. And I definitely think it's a strong 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Who's to say how I will feel at the end of this season? And yeah, I'm pretty much on the same, wavelength as y'all. But yeah, as far as like the storytelling and and the cinematic, decisions in the show, I felt like in terms of building tensity in each of the scenes, there were some strong moments where they would kind of linger on certain characters, especially like with May being so like physically just, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but yeah, just like, her abilities and them being so much different from that of a Jedi. So yeah, she has kind of like a ninja sort of, appearance and like battle skill set.
Oh yeah,
I
one of
think,
my favorite parts is that they actually did the smoke disappear too from the Jedi. Like she did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting, because oftentimes the Jedi are compared to samurai,
Yeah.
So yeah, having like that, presence of like ninja-esque, stuff was actually really cool in my opinion. And the whole revenge, story arc, I'm a big fan of that too, especially
Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Don't cross Ray, I guess. Big fan of revenge. All right.
But yeah, like as far as like what I was talking about with some of the filmmaking or like the production decisions, yeah, some camera placement and lingering on certain scenes was pretty strong, especially with um, uh, those more like intense scenes between May and Osha, like for sure. And I think 1 and 2 were definitely weaker than 3, because sometimes I felt like there was, there wasn't enough contrast sometimes in
Interesting.
episode 1 and 2. Maybe it's just my TV. I was watching in 1080, so I don't know if that has anything to do with, or my specific TV, but yeah, the color balancing in my experience didn't offer a whole lot of like clarity in terms of like, okay, how like the characters away from the background, and like it looked kind of flat in terms of like their framing with like mid shots and stuff like that. Mid shots to me are like one of the most boring choices as far as like showing characters interacting. But yeah, episode 3, so much better. Just like, I don't know who directed it, who was the
Mhm.
cinematographer for that episode, but I was just like, ugh, like the just like the sweeping like scenery, and like the landscapes of like the witches sort of like hideout. Yeah, just like every scene, and even if it was like outdoors, indoors, in their little like chamber where they go and have their little like discussion about how May wants to become or sorry, Osha wants to become a Jedi. And then like when they are confronted by the Jedi in like this outside sort of like environment where there was another ceremony between May and Osha before they're confronted by the Jedi. So sorry to just rant and rant, but
Oh, no,
like
no, that's
as
fine.
as far as like outside of like the context of like the um uh real world like
I have to put Cali
uh
Wave. Voltaire, keep it going.
topics that folks are aligning to the narrative in the Acolyte, I personally want to, or I went in wanting to evaluate it as far as like how is it production wise and holistically, like even if it's its own story outside of the mainline Star Wars or Jedi sort of like Skywalker time frame or whatever, or like thread story thread, storyline. But yeah, like I'm more or less okay with it being its own thing. I don't, I'm not necessarily like a big like I'm not like the biggest fan of like the Skywalker sort of like storyline. I know that's how we got Star Wars, but I'm a big fan of like kind of like detour making a detour from that. So
Mm.
so yeah.
So do you see? So this show cost $180 million versus Ahsoka cost $100 million. Are you seeing that on the screen so far in the first 3 episodes? Do you think?
I think because what I was saying about like the cinematic quality of episode 3, I can see it more working a lot more strongly in terms of like set design and use of like sophisticated camera shots and placement, and a lot of like the color balancing and like post editing decisions were a lot stronger in episode 3 in my opinion. So I can see the production quality in that sense. And then looking back at like episodes 1 and 2, I think they didn't do enough to highlight those the potential greatness of the scenes that they were placing the characters in, especially like in um like on board of like the ships that they one that they encountered with they encountered Osha on, and then the um what was it like, I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, but I do feel like there were a lot of like scene placements or like, you know, set designs in episodes 1 and 2 that we didn't get, you know, a good, you know, as good of, you know, a perspective of, you know, where they're at, you know, as grandly as we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
in episode 2.
It does look
3.
more cinematic. I agree with you on that. It certainly does.
I want to find out if that's per episode or for the whole season, though.
For the whole seasons.
Okay,
100 million for Ahsoka, 180 for this thing.
For a whole season, I definitely see it. If it was per episode, no, I don't think it was that. But for the whole season, that's
We
great.
haven't seen the whole season, to be fair. But
a whole season should be longer than Revenge of the Sith. I know people are like, "Oh, Revenge of the Sith didn't even cost this much." That was different time period, you know.
So,
Is there? I would ask Rhea. So you said 8 out of 10. A low point and a high point of the episode. Like, was what your favorite part of the episode? A favorite moment, favorite character moment, and then something that didn't hit for you as much.
Yeah, I'll start with the low point. So, the fire that May started, I didn't believe for a second that all the witches perished.
All of a sudden,
Like,
you see all those dead bodies for some reason.
I'm just like, how does fire equate to rocks and mountains crumbling? You know,
and then a whole bunch of dead bodies.
I would counter your low point and say, after revisiting it, I think it's a high point because from Leslie Headland interviews I've been watching, she wants to do the storytelling like in Akira Kurosawa, where there's different points of view, and then probably in an episode or two, you're going to get someone else's point of view. It's intentionally vague and question worthy, and on purpose. Like, you're supposed to, like, this doesn't make sense on purpose. So potentially it could be make it stronger in later episodes. I'm hoping.
I think she's doing this for the TikTok generation, like quick release, get it out there, and just move along to the next thing. But, you know, not that that's a bad thing. I kind of like some of the way she's doing it.
So I agree. At first, I'm thinking, I mean, I'm still not sold that it could be a high point, but I'm like, I think there's something, I think it might be intentional. So you really question what happened, really question the Jedi. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then something on rewatching it, that scene with May and Torben in episode 2 is so much stronger after watching episode 3. And he basically says, okay, I will, instead of admitting what happened, I will take this. And I was like, wow, that hits really different now. Like, that hits hard now. Like, he obviously has been through the shit. Look at it, the way he looks. And then also in the episode, at the end of the episode, he's a little bit blurred out in the background, but he has the scar when they save Osha. He already has this, at least the scar on his eye. So there's a lot of questions here. But yeah. And what was your high point then, Rhea, of the episode? Of your favorite part, favorite actor, favorite scene, or favorite part?
Yeah. I really like May. So she is kind of like, she's
your team May.
She's kind of annoying in the show because she's so, like, you know, like she's so pressing the issue on Osha to, you know, be you know, part of the coven, and I guess, like, you know, be like officially, like, I guess, like, one-to-one with her. I don't know what I'm not choosing the right words, but hopefully it makes sense what I'm saying. And I think I am super compelled to understand her more as a character, and like, what part of her psyche is, you know, attached to this sense of, you know, belonging and lack of agency, I guess, to really think outside of her purpose as a witch, that was, you know, kind of forced on her by Osha and May's mom. I feel like because we saw some you know, instances where the mom, you know, was, she was pushy and, you know, kind of disregarded Osha's feelings. There was, you know, sort of like some leniency to acknowledge her daughter's, you know, personal choices and honor that. So I feel like
which mom are you referencing?
Let me see. It is Vernestra. Yeah.
Vernestra.
Not the carrying mother.
Yeah, there's also, I think that's also something that's going to challenge the viewers, because that's something in real. I know people are like, see,
I apologize. So Venestra is the first Jedi, the female Jedi that was killed in episode 1. The mother I'm talking about is Anastasia. So
yeah.
Coral is the one that carried them. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so yeah, I needed the name.
The other thing that this is challenging, and I know people are like, see, they're bringing real world politics, and how do you not cover this stuff when you're talking about space religions in another galaxy? It's points of view. Not everyone's going to agree with that religion, you know. And that's, I'm not saying, I'm not a hater of the Jedi Order like Bruce is in the chat. Bruce is not a fan of the Jedi Order. But there's also here about going with what you want instead of what you're taught, the path you're taught on with Osha. You know, she was obviously raised to be brought into the coven, and I'm Anastasia, Mother Anastasia, I think, right? She has, she said she was the accepting mother, where the rest of the coven was not. That was a very cool, interesting scene. Also, for lots of young people out there that that want to go their own path, opposed to what they're brought or brought up as, or what they, you know, or what their parents want.
Yeah, I like
it's
that.
really your life to decide, and I think they handled that good. And I think that also challenges the normie viewers. I'm sorry, it does challenge the normie viewers to say, wait, you know. So there's a lot of things with religion in here, faith, what you believe, and what you're brought up to is, and what you choose to do. But I'm also not sure if Anastasia was really 100% behind Osha or not, or she was just doing that to her face. And then she said, well, we'll see what the Coven Council says. So I'm still not sure there, but it seemed like she was accepting of Osha's wishes, which I hope that is the case.
And
So-
there's obviously some implication. So this is another thing people are complaining about, is that, so the Jedi Master who killed himself, which is, you know, contrary to what Jedis do, blah, blah, blah. He killed himself. We didn't see anything. He didn't do anything in that episode to make you think, oh, well, that's why he killed himself. We don't know anyway, right? So the implication is that, you know, we had these Covenant witches. They were living their life on this little planet by themselves, doing their thing, having a good time, creating Jedi or whatever, creating Force-sensitive beings and training them. And then the Jedi are the quote-unquote colonialists coming in from the big, you know, country that's in charge and saying, hey, what are you guys doing?
Thank you, Voltaire, for bringing up the other concern that a lot of people had. Like they paint the Jedi as creepy, going around and posing what they want for these Force-sensitive young people onto their parents. They say, "Oh, it's your choice to choose and give your child a choice, but you have to provide us the right to test them." I'm like, "What?"
You have the right to test them, and you're not.
Honestly, and I think that also gets a lot of people, like, because they like the Jedi Order. It gets a lot of viewers what? That's weird. How do you think all those younglings got there, even in episode 1? You know, the Revenge of the Sith, though. There had to be something.
It definitely gives, like, you know, forced, you know, child soldier vibes for sure.
Yes.
And I wanted to add, I like that there is, you know, sort of like this, they're framing this sort of like, I feel like they're indirectly, you know, kind of highlighting this idea of being special versus, you know, just, you know, wanting to choose your own path. So like being like having that identity sort of, you know, you're predestined, you know, for that. And there is like a lot of resentment. There's also, you know, a lot of like questioning and like by Osha, and like some, you know, lack of repression of emotion from Soul as well. Like, you know, maybe he's like wavering in his, you know, Jedi-ness as well. Or so I like that, you know, there is there are no, you know, absolutes, and everything is, you know, up for like, you know, like there's a spectrum of like how folks either express their I guess like connection to their uh, way of thinking about the Force, like the Coven does, versus like what the Jedi does, and yeah, for like those two, kind of existing uh, frame thoughts of like, or I guess like schools of thought, but it's still like unclear to me. Maybe it'll be clarified later about like why the Coven is like was sort of banished or is not you know completely like seen as or validated by the Jedi, or I don't know. There's just something there that between their between those two groups that it's still unclear about for me. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm thinking
The,
about that too.
the implication is that the Jedi are, as Bruce was saying, the quote unquote Catholic Church, and this is how you worship, and this is
Well,
how
there.
this is
Well,
how you guys are doing it
I
wrong.
on the last episode. I don't want to get controversial, but I kind of viewed like the accepted, not accepted, but the religion that's very popular on Earth is Christianity and Christians. And then
But
in this galaxy, it seems like the religion that's popular or accepted by the most people is the Jedi Order, is the accepted one.
I guess I'm still a little confused personally how that sort of you know that perspective is established as like so extreme as like the Catholic Church versus like Protestant religions and sects, because
Mhm.
I don't see a whole lot of like resentment necessarily. It's more like sort of like enforcement, like or like kind of pushing or in like enforcement, I guess, on the Jedi side, as far as like
Oh, okay, that is different. Yes.
so
So
for
the
me,
Jedi
like,
try to
yeah.
enforce their view way more than even the Christian.
Well, they're
Yeah.
saying you're using well, I don't want to say religion because the Force is not a religion, but you're using it wrong, and you're not supposed to do it this way. You're
Mhm.
supposed to do it our way, and if you do it your way, we're going to come in and stop you from doing it. That's illegal.
Well, I would assume some bad stuff happened in the past. Still, it's always in the past that why this isn't so important to the Republic as to why they go with the Jedi's, because some bad shit went down, and this is why you can't have attachments and why you can't have children.
Right.
That's a hard life for a young person. Like, okay, I want to be a Jedi. I wouldn't want to be no Jedi.
I would. You
You
could
would?
still, yeah, you could still have relationships. You just can't be attached to them. That's all. That's my style.
At the very most, I would have. Oh, that's actually that's now to read into that. That's Voltaire's preferred type of relationship. No attachments. Move on. Okay, you just can't be attached to them. Okay, I see what you're saying, Voltaire.
It's for the best.
I would like to. I'm not reading too much into it all. I like that this gives a lot of. I think it's very layered show. I think there's some misses in it, but I think it's very layered. I see a lot more theory videos than ever before. So we can move on to some other things. I think we do have. Let me see. We do have some more voicemails if we want to get to before we get to good news of Twitter. We got two more, I think. Hold on, let me test this to make sure it's nothing bad. I'll mute myself.
Come on, don't censor people. Come on now. Well, I guess I could be saying something that's inappropriate.
Well, there was no transcript. Sometimes it shows a transcript. There's no transcript. It's just dead air. So I don't know what happened with that second one. But we at least have one more. So I apologize. I've got to figure out a better method, but I'm going to bring this up here. I'm sorry, viewers that are watching this live. I do not want to share your number.
Yes.
So
yes, Bruce, that's exactly what I want to do.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We got one more here. We got 31 viewers, 15 on X. Again, you Xers, that's what I'm going to call you, Twitter users. I know I think the X is growing on people. Call in. leave us a question or topic, a hot topic for us. So
We'll never
here,
back
let me see if you can hear this one. Okay, here we go.
No, there's no audio, Max.
Oh, there's not?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me bring that up. Technical difficulties on my end. Sorry. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to add it to the stage. Hold on. All right. Sorry, everyone. I really got to figure out a smoother way to do that. All right. See if you can hear it now.
Hello. My first question is for Max.
You hear it now?
Mm-hmm.
Being that you guys are long time content creators on YouTube,
An expert
what
content
advice would you
creators.
give to newer channels and people looking to start a channel, and what format would you recommend? StreamYard, Streamlabs, or OBS? Also, I have a second question for Voltaire. Being that the PlayStation Portable is now in stock everywhere, do you plan on getting a PS5 and a PlayStation Portal?
Okay. I am an excellent content creator. Thank you, Bruce. And so is Rhea. No.
That was
I
an
would,
anonymous caller. We don't know if that was Bruce.
what is that at the end? I better I don't know. He forgot to hang up. I would say put yourself out there, collaborate with. It depends on what type of content you're going to do. Rhea has used OBS for video game content. That's good for streaming video games. If you could figure out the technical stuff, that's free, right? OBS.
Yeah, a lot, and the plugins are too.
So yeah, if you're technically savvy, I would say go with OBS. And if you're into video game content, if
Are
you
we
want
getting a
panel,
voice?
yeah. Oh, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to do stuff with panels, I would say StreamYard's a good, but you can do a free version of StreamYard. You're only going to have so many hours per month, but until you see, but put yourself out there. Just keep throwing out. I go with my grandfather. My grandfather's no longer with us. He had his rod ready, and he threw out his line as soon as he got to the lake, and he caught a lot of fish. Just throw yourself out there. Don't overthink it. Be yourself. That's my strategy. I probably put myself out there too much. I'm all over the place. But yeah, I would say put yourself out there, talk to people, and you can't go wrong. Be yourself. You can't go wrong. But it also depends on what type of content. Rhea, what would your be advice? You're a good Xer, one of the more positive Xers I've seen. You repost a lot of friends, you collaborate, connect with people through social media in a positive way. What would you recommend for people?
Yeah, just to kind of add to what you're saying about connecting with people. For me, I've been fortunate enough to be able to, you know, make friendships and, uh, build, relationships with people through, overlapping communities or concentric communities. And it was, all I would like to think, or I would describe it as, just genuinely wanting to see other folks succeed and uh, not really expecting anything in return. So I'm someone who, doesn't believe in transactional relationships in terms of I support you because I expect you to support me. I think that there is a genuine way to, express support for other folks and have and get that in return to an extent, but it should not be expected. I went into content creation not expecting and any type of uh like expansive support, like to the extent that I personally express to, my friends or other content creators. I think and I also continue to balance established relationships with those content creators who I interact with and became friends with before I jumped into content creation. So I think like my long-winded way of saying this is like you get what you give, you know, like, but to the extent that you you know, you could you know, put yourself out there to, you know, support friends and content creators you enjoy, and make it known that, you know, you're out there supporting them, especially like through likes, shares, and comments. Like that not only, you know, helps that content creator, but it helps to establish more of a relationship with them too, like with them responding, and you know, seeing that you're genuinely, you know, supporting them, and you're just, you know, someone who, you know, has no ulterior motive or agenda as far as like getting them to acknowledge you. So that's how I personally got into it, and it didn't happen overnight. So with content creation, I think it's something that uh yeah, like Max, to your point about putting yourself out there, yeah, like understand that, you know, more often than not, like, you know, if your goal is to gain a bigger audience, and uh not and have to, you know, interact with them, or, you know, or any other content creators, I think it'll be a very tough road ahead of you, for the most part. But if you're willing to continue to, you know, learn from, like you said, Max, with different softwares like OBS or StreamYard, I think those are very helpful. There are also a lot of, like, you know, free options as well to stream with other folks, especially like with OBS, and being able to create panels, maybe not as flexibly flexible as StreamYard, but it's definitely an option. And apps like CapCut, yeah, I'm a big fan of that because it's free and it offers you a lot of tools to be able to create shorts. Yeah, that's another great way to just quickly create content as well. If you're, you know, kind of strapped on time, and you're able to use create content on your phone very quickly through its app. And then the desktop app is also very cool. I uh, recorded or I edited it a lot of like, or all my, you know, standalone videos with that software too. It's very intuitive and like not as like intimidating as like Adobe Premiere, or, you know, anything like that. And then I would record in OBS, which is very great for like high fidelity video capturing and in audio. So yeah, like I guess like, yeah, just looking back at, like, you know, some of the things that I did to, you know, uh to get a better grasp of creating content. Yeah, I, you know, tried out different software, different, you know, formats of content with shorts and streams, and um standalone videos across other, you know, across multiple different types of platforms, or like softwares. And it was for the better part of, you know, of like the course of maybe like 2 years or so, that, you
Hmm.
know, it you know, was a process for me to, you know, kind of juggle be, interacting with the community, and also, you know, trying to find my way as a content creator, or just, you know, trying to create content. So yeah, I sorry for the long, you know,
Oh no,
winded
that's
It's
answer,
good.
but
I will say something else off what you said. Social media, meeting up with people is quite an experience, but you have to tone down the rhetoric and be a pause. You know, you have to focus on the positive stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. And meeting people in real life, like when that event where I met you, Bruce, in real life, and our other friend that was there, and Joe, and then also that video game. Algorithms aren't gonna are you have to search for the good stuff, but there's good stuff out there for sure. And I like that you focus on the positive things, on, you know, promoting people, cool things. Social media is not that difficult. It's just if you engage with the weird stuff, you're gonna get the weird stuff sent back to you. That's how it works. And that's just like everything. There's so much good things out there, but the algorithms aren't going to give it to you. You got to search for it.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I do think like I don't want to necessarily call it all low hanging fruit, like using free software on your phone like CapCut, and just engaging with folks on Twitter, because it, you know, it can be, you know, kind of like tough to like put yourself out there on Twitter, especially if you're, intimidated by, you know, different, topics that pop up on your feed. But I do think that, I've been able to connect and make friends with, make genuine connections with people because I'm such a heavy X user, Twitter user, and
Yeah. And you've had lots of positives. You said your preferred platform of choice for social media. You've had a lot of good. You've had a lot of good experience using it.
Yes, and a lot of content creators that I network with also make heavy use of it, not just to promote their own content. That would be my biggest thing is like when you go on social media to promote your content, don't, again, like put other, like things about you and interests that you have out there too. I could go on a long, I'm already long-winded, but I can go on a long-winded rant about search engine optimization and, like things like that. I'm like, that's my, jam for sure. But I think like more simply just, yeah, like you see stuff on your recommended feed, interact with it and, put your 2 cents out there, even if it's just, just something very like vague or general or just, things like that. And then also find ways, find people to follow, even if you have like 2 followers and like maybe like you're following like 1,000 people, like yeah, those are opportunities for you to connect with other people and yeah, build familiarity like with other folks too and other content creators and yeah, like establish some identity with them. And then also your your reach and visibility with other folks in the comment section will increase as well, along with your familiarity with the folks, with the content creators who are making their posts. So follow their example and just genuinely like create create posts that encourage engagement as well, like sharing like your favorite video game cover or like favorite game that came out in like 1998 or something, and then you say like, what's your favorite game that came out this year? That inherently promotes engagement, which I genuinely love those posts because I get to see what everyone answers, but it's also like a great way to increase your reach for your identity on the platform.
Sure.
Cool.
And I'm not a creator, but as a viewer, I will say if you're going to get on YouTube, get a schedule, get an expectation from your viewers so they know when to find you, when to expect you on, and stick to it no matter what. If you're feeling crummy, get on and just still do your stream and that kind of thing. Just get people into a schedule like, all right, I know when I come home from work, this is going to be on. When I'm doing this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Strange said it took me weeks to get up the courage to create my very first YouTube video. And I would recommend Strange World Theories. He has some really interesting stuff there. I want to work with them too. We do have one more voicemail, and then we'll go to Twitter.
And there's a second part of that voicemail question. I will get that PlayStation, whatever it's called, the
Portal.
The Portal.
PlayStation 5 and Portal.
I'm waiting for a good Costco bundle with it, okay? That's all. So I got to buy
I get that.
Ooh, a nice Black Friday.
I'm waiting. It'll come.
Sure.
Now, someone told me that you can afford it, Voltaire, but you still like a good deal. That's interesting.
Part of the reason I can afford it is
I'm joking with them. Yeah.
But it is coming. I
Tesla
want it.
truck or Portal package from Costco.
End of the year, I might have both. Is when it's going to happen. Who knows?
Oh, you might have the Tesla by the end of the year.
In a perfect world.
Okay. All right. Let's see what this next one is. See if you can recognize who it is.
What's up, Max? It's Calvin. This is not a test. I just want to say what's up to y'all. What up, Ray? Voltaire, my man. How you doing, son? I hope you're doing all right in your 1% of the world. Anyway, yeah. I don't have a question. I just wanted to call again because I'm selfish, Max.
You're selfish.
Anyway, I'll see.
Oh, that was it.
Thank you, Cal.
Okay. Thank you, Cal. We appreciate that. I love hearing from you. And yeah, and it's coming through loud and clear on the voicemail. Okay, so let's look at what's happening on X. There's some positive stuff there, at least I think I found. I found some memes, some good news, and I'll share. I may have retweeted too many things. This made me laugh today. Me playing Call of Duty, wondering why there's no sound. My grandfather with his new Bluetooth hearing aid.
Oof.
All right. This is really interesting. I've never seen this. This is Harrison Ford with his coworkers when he was a carpenter. He was a real hippie, wasn't he? He looks like it, at least. The peace sign for sure.
Well, 1970, that was the style, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me see here. What do we think of this? Is this a real room? This is not AI. Okay, let me give this is an immersive LED walled nightclub. Would that be something cool to be in, or would that be scary? Look at that.
I'm assuming that, it's not going to have this like harsh LED, overhead light. Like if it was a little bit darker, then it would have a little bit more ambiance for me.
That doesn't seem very relaxing.
They need to
It's
slow
cool,
down the animation on the waves too, to make it like more, like, I don't know if this is for a rave.
Yeah, well,
situation
I muted the music, but it was like rave music. I think it's reacting to the music.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like I'm more of like a nightclub sort of vibe person, so it needs to be like more low key, like dim the lights a little bit. Yeah. Slow down the animation.
This is for the expensive table service. Everybody listen. The ladies don't like it. Rhea's just giving her thumbs down to it. Come on, slow it down.
Here's this could have been the Gremlins. Happy 40th birthday to the masterpieces of the Gremlins, and specifically to these two rejected Gizmo designs. That could have put Gizmo. Oh my, good thing. I've never been to a club. Bruce, you have to come back and take me to a certain style of club that I'm open to it. I'm going. I want to have some fun.
First round's on me.
Okay. All right here. Oh, Creature Commandos will consist of 7 episodes. Airs on December. Characters will appear in Superman and other DCU projects. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm kind of disappointed it's only 7 episodes, though. Honestly,
I'm so sick of not sick. Like it's cool to look at, but I literally like this one promotional image.
Yeah.
And we're seeing more promotion for future projects than we are this immediate, or like this more, closer in premiere date than we for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I didn't think of that, but yeah, I kind of want to see more, but I also kind of want to be surprised too. Like I love the character designs. I hope the animation style matches closely because I think this is great art. I like all the characters for sure. Voltaire, you have anything on this year?
Yeah, I think December they've been teasing this for a long time and it's not coming out till December. It's just kind of like maybe they need, like Rhea said, maybe they need some more images or something. This is just, I don't know. Just seems like it's too far out.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
This is actually a real Time magazine cover. Eric Kripke.
It's the Nichols?
Well, if they do stuff like this, that gets people excited. Jack of all trades bar. Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't know, Bruce. Yeah, sure. Okay, so Superhero of the Year, Time Magazine, Homelander, and The Boys TV put Wanker of the Year.
He's going to take you to a club called the Toolbox.
Yeah. I don't know. Bruce was talking something about this new episodes, and I'll never want a salad bar again. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea, but I'm like, oh no. I
know exactly what he's talking about.
Okay. All right, let me see here. Now, this could potentially be some spoilers for Superman, but this is some Luthor Corp boxes in the desert, I guess. Do you see Luthor Corp anywhere there?
I do not.
It says property of Luthor Corp way at the bottom there.
Yes, the Blue Oyster. Every city has a Blue Oyster, Jade. You're correct.
This is this a great mashup? Star Wars and Oreos?
I saw those while I was visiting my sister last week, and I was just like,
I might get some of these. They're fighting. There's a Yoda, Oreo, Stormtroopers.
I wonder if it's
dunking.
one of those things that accumulates value over time, like as a collectible. I know like cereals often do that. So
Yeah,
Tempting. God.
I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah. I want a bag of those.
Derek Connolly, Jurassic World, is writing the script for Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie. I'm so looking forward to this. I think it's about time.
So this is real.
Yeah, they are actually making the movie, the crossover movie.
Wow.
And that Rhea, did you see the Transformers 1 trailer? I'm so in for that. That looks good to me. I know it's skewed a little bit younger. It's all animated. It's about the origins of Optimus Prime and Megatron. Oh, it looks so good. People were giving it rave reviews. Okay. Forgive our intrusion. We thought this planet was uninhabited. I've never seen this Jedi straight up lie so much. I seriously, in this episode, like there's no way. Oh, of course they were.
Yeah, they're devious.
Saul was there at the beginning. I kind of, is it possible that she could be the Sith? Is it possible because you saw her
be just dogmatic into the ideals? I think
because there's something about her character too. With those four Jedi. First off, I really like the High Republic era Jedi. I like the robes are a little different. It's not like drastically different, but her, Torben, the Wookiee Jedi, and Soul, something went down. You saw. Well, for one thing, at the end of the episode when they get Osha and Soul is trying to console Osha, we're going to take care of you. Torben's in the back with a scar. The Wookiee Jedi is not there, and I'm beginning to not trust her at all.
You think maybe they're the ones who killed all those witches instead of that fire?
Well, I don't know if Saul was involved or Saul. I think Saul's one of the good ones. But there's even differences in that small Jedi group or small, the Torben. I almost feel like the Wookiee Jedi did not like something because he's off doing his own thing.
Where's Yoda? He should be a Jedi Master at this point. He should be.
And someone pointed out that she has these little markings by her eye. Now later on she had 2 and she had 1. I don't know. When she died, she had 2 or she had 1. I don't know. Read the comics. I guess I could.
Whoa, we don't.
But do you see any way it's possible she's still alive? But then why would she have that scene with May at the beginning though? Well, May does not know who that is. What they're saying, right? What's your biggest theory on who that Sith like?
I told you it's certainly female, and now I'm almost sure it was the birth mother, the woman who carried them.
The birth mother.
Yeah.
Some people think it's the guy that made the poison. Bargain bin Ezra Miller. I've heard that consistently.
Yeah, I don't get that theory. Like, is he really? Did he leave that much of an impression?
Well, in some people were saying when he confronted May in the alleyway, he got the drop on her too, and he pushed her against the wall. And if she's so, she's such an assassin, how could he do that? I don't know. I definitely could see that. I think the obvious choice would be the mother that carried her, Voltaire.
Yeah. Well,
I think that would make sense, but I think the more intriguing one would be if they found a way for it to be Endara, which would be really like, what? She died. And May confronted her, but May doesn't know who it is either. At least that's what they're telling us. I don't know.
She ordered her to kill May. She ordered her to kill Trinity.
Out of those Jedi, who do you like trust as a legit Jedi? Do you trust that? Out of the little screen time that we have of her, Andara Rhea, do you trust her character? Like she's on the up to snuff? Like she's say what she means here? Where we thought this planet was uninhabited, or do you question her motives? I just question her motives big time.
Yeah, to me, she comes off as very like indoctrinated to the Jedi Order to
dogma.
The point, yeah, like to the extent that she is willing to protect their their way of life, I guess, against any sort of like practice of the Force or any sort of like yeah, like dissension from it. I think like now that I think about it, there is, a very clear, sense of resentment that the coven has to, the rest of the galaxy, and probably no, like rightfully so, because they were banished from society. So it seems like because the Jedi are like explicitly hunting them down versus like the coven just wanting to exist, yeah, there is some insidiousness, haha, there.
Mhm.
So
Cool, cool. Also, I think when I was watching one of these videos, Anasaia in a different language, I think means like resurrection or something.
ooh.
So just so you guys, I think that was an Easter egg in one of the videos I've been watching. There's so much content I've been enjoying on YouTube with people that really dive deep into it. But I think her name means resurrection. So, all right. Let me. I'm sorry to keep us a little bit longer. We're having fun. I didn't realize that we'd have so much content tonight.
Ray and I are West Coast, the best coast. So
okay.
Yes.
All
We
right. So
get 3 bonus hours.
Torben aging almost as bad as Obi-Wan did.
Wow.
Come on, attacking the man's hairline.
Why? That was such a weird choice. Like they could have made him look older without the receding hairline.
What did you think of the de-aging that they did for Soul?
It was pretty good, actually.
Good, yeah.
Maybe that's where the money was. Yeah, because it actually looked good.
Do you think Saul is in on what's going on with what happened, and he was just not telling Osha? Do you think he has that in him to not say what was really going on? He seemed to be struggling a little bit with the Osha thing at the end of the episode.
I agree, because it was just too perfect, like as far as like there were no survivors, May killed everyone, like and I'm just like, okay, like you, like I don't know, it was just like just knowing the right beats to tell someone in order to sweep them away with you. So yeah, like I agree to an extent, but also he was kind of giving me Obi-Wan vibes a little bit, like where Obi-Wan was like so like yeah, he was all about the Jedi Order, but he also yeah, there was like some wavering there too. So but yeah, to your point, Max, I do think that maybe there was some coercion, I guess that's the word, where he thought it was for the greater good.
Well, I feel bad for this panel on Torben because he got wrecked. Like I think there's a big reason that he's in meditating for all these years. He can't handle what happened.
Oh,
I think that's why he's meditating. Yeah, and he did not like what went down or what he was told to do, and he reached for that poison so willingly. I can't get past that. She said, "Will you admit what is done?" Basically, in that scene, I know they might do the May point of view later on, but in that scene, it kind of makes me think that the May point of view is accurate, that he reached for that poison so willingly.
Yeah, he committed seppuku pretty willingly. So, I'm sure they're going to reveal something insidious that went on with them as colonizers. I suspect that's where the story's going.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Oh, here's Ray. I loved all 3 episodes of the season premiere. Can't wait for more next week. I'm not going to have time to watch it this week, I don't think. And I will watch with my wife because she really likes Jensen Ackles, but I don't know if he's in this season at the beginning. Yeah, I'll have to see. Here's the Dune Part 2 steel, or these are like collector's edition stuff. That's very interesting.
What do you think about collections like that when they're going to make more movies?
Yeah, I do have the thing now, thanks to Rhea. I don't really collect steelbooks and stuff anymore unless it's something really. The only thing I got last year with steelbook was Snyder's Justice League and Prey, because I'm a huge Dan Trachtenberg fan, the director, and I really like that movie. But I used to get stuff like this all the time. It's very expensive, and yes, there's going to be another movie, so you'll have to just get it again eventually.
Money grab.
Yeah. Oh, I started following this X handle, Deep Thoughts with the Deep. So I'll share some of these tonight. The money in your wallet isn't yours. It's just your turn to spend it.
Oh,
Deep
boy.
thoughts with the deep. Sci-Fi Center is into the YouTube program. Congrats to William.
Way to go, William.
Yay.
That's awesome. We need more people into it. This is when Mahershala's finally going to play Blade. By the time Blade finally gets made, I'm honestly. Does anyone want to comment on that? I love Mahershala, but I'm like, move on, because it's not working, and we need to get Blade into the universe. And there are more actors that could play Blade too. You know, I'm getting to the point. You want to see him in multiple projects.
Yeah, I'm starting to think he's the blocker.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a story. I think Bruce sent me a story that showed that he thought the director was hard to work with.
I love that he's being very protective of the story and the character, but yeah, this is dragging, man.
It's holding up Midnight Suns. That's the other thing. It's holding up other projects. It's not just Blade. If it was just Blade, I'd be more lenient, but it's not holding up just Blade. And other people have already left. Like there was the actor that played Jon Snow. He was going to be in Midnight Suns as a character, and he's like, "No, I'm done." So
there was a small rumor, I think, about Wesley Snipes being a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. So I don't know, like if I don't know how valid that was, or the news outlet that linked to that, but yeah, I thought that was interesting in terms of like, is Disney sort of like, you know, hedging their bets if you know, this Blade project, you know, continues to, you know, just linger in pre-production, and then they can, you know, potentially explore the multiverse of the Blade films to an extent. So
yeah, I hope so.
How sad is that?
Emily Blunt is in talks to star in Steven Spielberg's new UFO film in theaters on May 15th, 2026. I really enjoyed The Fablements with Steven Spielberg recently. I think he's on the upward swing again, and I can't wait to see him do another UFO project for sure. And Emily Blunt, I like her a lot, but I think she's hit or miss, honestly. I think this is a picture from one of her better roles, was Edge of Tomorrow. I thought she was great in that, but definitely looking forward to Steven Spielberg getting back at the sci-fi genre for sure. Mm-hmm. Let me see what else is here. Oh, here's the Mad Max 5-film 4K collection.
Oh, wow.
I love Furiosa. I wasn't like against it or anything. I just like, I'm not sure I would rather see a different story, but after seeing it, I completely understand why they made it. So
that's good value. It's all 5 films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is funny. On the set of Lord of the Rings, Sean Bean, man, he's got a great smile. Look at that. But it's very, I retweeted this because it's very striking to see him out in a suit with the orcs.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good one.
Yeah. What's this? Let me see here. Oh, I skipped ahead. Now it's not playing. What? Oh no, internet. My internet's been wonky lately. Oh my god.
Streamers pay for the good internet.
No, I pay for good internet.
I
I don't know. It went out a few times this week. I think DL said he had some issues too. When you find out that Thomas Ian Griffith is actually 4 months younger than Ralph Macchio.
Wow.
For Karate Kid, was that 2 or 3? Yeah. I think that was Karate Kid 3.
That was Karate Kid 2. Oh, 3, sorry. The multi-billionaire who set aside being the CEO of his company to help his former Vietnam buddy get revenge on a teenager.
Because every girl goes crazy about a shark-dressed man.
ZZ Top.
Oh, here's Baby Gromit. Wallace and Gromit is coming to Netflix. I'm going to be supporting that. I'm be getting into more in the stop motion animation again, watching stuff like that. So I'm glad it still exists. Very big in the UK is what Taladia says. Okay. We have Brie Larson, the Queen Brie. The process of watching themselves act. Deep dive for variety. Let's see if there's anything interesting here.
Myself, I don't know. That's one of
Yeah,
the
me too.
one of the things that I was going to ask you when in lessons in chemistry, like looking at the edit and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, all the time, like
And
nonstop.
do you find that you were able to
Detach.
Yeah.
The first time I edited myself was like years ago, and the editor so smartly, without ever having a previous conversation about it, she always referred to her as her.
Yeah.
She's this, or I wish.
Yeah.
She
Okay, I
was-
apologize. I like Brie, but this might be boring. I'm sorry. I'll move
So-
on.
You shared a really striking image of her on your last thumbnail where, you know, her highlights and her cheekbones and like, you know, her collarbones were like all like, you know, like accentuated. I was just like, ooh, look at Brie.
Well, yeah, that's the one that they retweeted with Avar Chris, that the fans that want Brie Larson. I think she'd be perfect for it. Here's dogs calling out the
Whoa, what?
culprit.
There's a Pauly Shore tweet. Why am I seeing Pauly Shore on my Twitter a lot lately?
He's campaigning for the Richard
Richard Simmons. Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, sorry, thank you.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber now. I would love to get Pauly Shore on the show. I want to go back and watch his movies. I haven't seen them.
probably not that
you never
cheap.
know.
Yeah, there was a remix of movies used to look expensive. Oh, this is did you ever see this? I've never seen this clip before.
I love Watch Mojo.
No. I'm always watching the top 10 things. Always.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. Yeah.
That's me. Hey. Oh, no way.
You used to watch Mojo Lady.
No
You
way.
narrated?
You do the,
Yeah. Oh my god.
Can you do the intro for us?
Right now.
Please.
I've never done this in person. Welcome to Watch Mojo.
No way.
I watch Mojo.
Mm.
Okay. Let me see here. Oh, this I retweeted this. This is the best preparation commercial I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I don't know why I retweeted this, but this is hilarious.
Are you tired of your ass hurting? Get Preparation H.
All right.
I'm sorry, panel. I don't know why that was really
Lowbrow.
It is lowbrow humor. You're right. I'm not
But
not immune
it's
to
mic
it.
drop. We have no limits.
Here's the orcs with regular voices.
Starving. We ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. Yeah. Why can't we have some meats? What about them?
Okay, I guess I follow. no problem. Here's an engineer that actually created a prosthetic hand. Maybe I should edit myself here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm dogging on Daniel Craig again.
Oh, I
He
love
looks
that
so
one.
tortured.
Yeah, I saw you.
Casino
That
Royale.
was pretty
Like,
good.
It's so.
Wah!
Go make my Knives Out 3, where you could do the cheesy Southern accent.
Show your comment, Max.
Oh, what did I?
You said wham. You didn't say wham, but you basically did.
So glad Daniel Craig is no longer subjected to this torture of being James Bond, Verena. Now we'll
I
probably
love when
get
people retweet the ladies and gentlemen, The Weekend from Daniel Craig.
Oh yes. Okay, and this is something that this is a like AI generated image of Corn Sweat putting on his boot. Okay. I think I'll wrap up the good news of Twitter here because Lady Battle Cop is like RoboCop. I gotta find that. I've never heard of that before. Okay. We'll get to Florence Pugh. Sometimes I just retweet Florence Pugh. I don't know why.
Clearly.
She's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yes. Oh, they are casting for Toph in The Last Airbender. Did you get a chance to see anyone here get a chance to see Netflix The Last Airbender? Might have missed that. I enjoyed it. Okay. All right, so let's bring up the mailbag now. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up. I appreciate both Voltaire and Rhea being here.
That's so cool. You have a voicemail and mailbag.
Yes. lots of opportunities to leave your. I eventually want more YouTubers to do like a shout out for the show. Go check out like the Nicotina show or the Four Nerds, and here's my topic. That'd be an easy way to collaborate and get a little bit, cross promotion. I'll have to contact William about that too. I would love a voicemail from William. He can bring in the hot ones too.
These voicemails are going to catch on. Watch, people are going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
All right, so we just have 4 in the mailbag, but that's okay.
You don't believe that, Zeno? I don't believe you.
He's just trying to get me started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll go with. Wait a second. This is the members' mailbag. Where's the one for? I'm having too many mailbags. I brought up the wrong one. I apologize. Where's the one for the mic drop? Okay. There's just 2. That's all right. We can call it a night after this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Gary, one of Voltaire's biggest fans. I'll check it out, Bruce. There's something else on X that Bruce sent me. Top bloke Voltaire. Max is cool. Also great live stream incoming. Thanks for the support, Gary.
Thank you, Gary, our man in England.
Yeah, if you can, please leave a question too for the next one. We would appreciate it. And Vince, mine wasn't spicy, and I kind of repeat what I said last night about Easter eggs. I appreciate it, Vince. We always like hearing you.
Thanks for your voicemail, Vince.
For sure. And let me see what Bruce is sending me here. Oh no. What is this, Bruce?
It's a mic drop episode. There's no limits.
I don't know. This is weird.
Well, there's a lady present, so maybe some limits.
No. It's not like that kind of weird. It's just like The Rock. Oh, I think because I know why he's doing this. Because The Rock signed a first look deal with Disney. So
Maybe.
You're going to be seeing should we see The Rock in Star Wars? Baby, that's not a cute baby Grogu. That's a AI messed up Grogu. Right? Is this where AI messed up Grogu? Holding baby Grogu.
Wait, he's implying that The Rock gave birth to him. This is like
no, that's not what it's implying.
A hospital bed.
I don't know. Is that the implication? I think you're reading that.
Look
That's
at
you.
That white plastic on his right. That's a hospital bed.
I know it's a hospital bed, but
so why is he shirtless?
I didn't know he was completely tatted like that.
Yeah, he is. They cover it up for some of the roles, but I guess in Moana they're just going to keep his real
fits for
tats.
Moana, doesn't it?
And then here is The Rock as Qui-Gon Rock. I don't know. That's disturbing, Bruce. Was this needed? That picture has wrong written all over it. For do you think we will see The Rock in Star Wars though? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's got other projects.
Yeah, he kind of wants to start his own thing. I don't know. Why not? Make him a Sith Lord, make him a Jedi Master. Sure, he can do it. I like The Rock.
He's like too recognizable though. I mean, some might say that was the problem with Black Adam too. I rolled with it there, but to be like a Jedi or a Sith, I don't know. All right. Well, that's our show. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support on both Twitter and X. Go follow Rhea on X for positive social media engagement, and follow Voltaire as well. Is that okay? Can we put your?
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah.
What's your Twitter handle?
Oh, it's OC Tool. Because I'm from Orange County and I love the band Tool. Back when I created when I created my my Twitter handle.
So go follow Voltaire if you want to be a guest panelist like our pal Rhea on a future episode. Message Voltaire, and we'll be back.
DMs are open. Any female viewers, go for it.
Wait, what? Okay. Any viewers is what you said meant, right?
Female viewers. But
okay.
Yeah, everyone can DM me. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So Voltaire, if you would be so kind to take us out.
Good night and good luck, everyone.
Have a good one, everyone.